Okay, so today here I'm with Alex Eischens, who is a Park Rapids High School senior and is a very notable and accomplished trap shooter at the Park Rapids High School trap team
Yep, the Clay Target League.
in the Clay Target League. So, Alex, you're going to graduate in May.
Yep.
And how long have you been trap shooting?
Since I was in eighth grade, so what? That'd be 5 years now.
Okay.
Which then again, my fifth year or my first year shooting in eighth grade in the fall, it got cut off in my spring because of the COVID.
Oh, yeah.
So I really only shot 4 years.
Okay. And did you have any prior experience with a shotgun before you started doing trap?
A lot of wild game hunting, yeah. Mostly go out, shoot ducks, pheasants, geese, that kind of thing, yeah.
Yep. And what was your when did you first start doing all of that hunting and stuff like that?
Oh, way young age, from shooting bunnies with a little 410 when
Yeah.
me and my cousin were 5, 6 years old, running around grandma's farm kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. And so you learned the basics of how a shotgun operates and all that stuff back then, probably gun safety and all that stuff.
Yep.
So what caused you to want to get into trap?
Well, it was more or less of I wasn't really into football anymore, so I wanted to go try something different, and trap seemed like a fun thing to do, so we signed up for it in eighth grade, and I've been sticking with it ever since.
Did you have any friends or relatives or anybody else that was kind of egging you on to do it, or?
I had my parents are egging me on to do it, and
Okay.
I had a couple of uncles that said I should do it too, so
Who are your parents?
Kim and Andy Eischens.
Do either of those your parents trap shoot or anything like that?
Nope, neither of them. And say they don't really shoot shotgun very much at all.
Yeah. So when you first started shooting trap, what gun did you use? Did you have one at home or did you buy one?
Yeah, I used the old 870 Express that my dad had in high school.
That's I think Jake Jones shoots a 870 still. Yeah, he
Yeah.
likes it.
Yeah.
So I mean, when did you first start to realize that you liked it as a sport and maybe you wanted to get more involved in it?
I think I started liking it more as a sport. 'Cause like my eighth grade year, we had a tournament down in Alexandria that fall, and I shot really good for an eighth grader with a
Yeah.
gun like that. And then after that, I started liking it more, and I started taking it more seriously. Especially Steve Gertz. I bought my gun from Steve Gertz.
Uh-huh.
And so when I was younger, what I actually did, before I had my license, I was 15, I would ratchet strap my gun. I bought the gun I have now, I bought from him. I'd ratchet strap my gun to the back of my four-wheeler, drive probably 2-3 miles to Steve Gertz's house and shoot there with Cole Gertz out there.
Oh, so
He had his home range.
so he just has like a thrower and
Yep, he has the whole setup out there, or he used to.
so when you first started in eighth grade, were you shooting down in Huntersville or somewhere else?
Yep, we shot down in Huntersville. That was before they put up the building and everything. What we had when I was in eighth grade is we had a ice castle, a 16-foot ice castle that we shot out, or that was our clubhouse at
Yeah.
the time.
So you're kind of just there from day one then.
I wouldn't say day one, because apparently they never had anything there, just a couple houses and stuff. But I think it was about 2 or 3 years. Well, I think they started in 2016 or 2017, so about 2 or 3 years until that was already established by the time I showed up.
So in eighth and ninth grade, I mean, how was it organized? Is there like a varsity, a junior varsity, or how does that work?
Yeah, they have a varsity, which is, I'm pretty sure, 20 average or above. JV is, I think, a 15 and above, and then after that or before that, anything below that is considered novice.
Okay, now just for people who don't know what you meant by that, just can you kind of briefly explain how a round of trap works and what those numbers mean?
So a round of trap really is, so you have 25 shells in a box, and you have 5 different stations you got to shoot from. So 5 divided by 5 is 1 or 5 shells per station, and you start back from 16 yards to shoot, and you're shooting back from 16 yards is where the clay comes out. So you shoot 5 rounds at each spot, and you have usually one person at each station. So everybody takes a shot, then it comes back to you, takes a shot, comes back to you, take a shot, kind of thing. So how your average comes out is how many can you shoot out of your whole box, and hit is what your average would be.
And what's a perfect round in trap?
A perfect round would be 25 out of 25. You hit all 25 clay targets.
So you mentioned that the different levels, varsity, JV, and all that stuff, had to do with a score. But is that an average of scores, and how many rounds are computed into that average?
So it really determines on what team you're on. But our conference shoots are our conference, because everybody shoots their own conference. How that is determined is you have only 250 rounds the whole conference. That's your season. Mm-hmm. And so the 250 combined together is your average. But like right now, I'm running a 24.75 average, but we've only shot 100 rounds.
Okay.
So I missed one bird out of 100. So right now I have a 24.75 average.
All right. So that's a pretty good average.
That's a really good average right now, yeah.
And so, but could an eighth grader, if an eighth grader shot that well, could they be considered varsity?
They would be considered varsity, yes. Anything 20 or above, doesn't matter what age you are,
Yeah.
that'd be considered varsity.
Now, is it trap? Is it in the high school? Is that something that you can letter in?
You can letter in it, yes.
Okay.
Not a lot of schools do it, but you can letter in it.
So you can letter in it in Park Rapids?
Yep.
Okay. And I would assume if you could, you probably did.
Yeah,
right?
yep.
Yeah. Do high school students still wear letter jackets?
Not very rarely. You'll see one out of the whole class kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess times have really changed. I think
Yeah.
they were a trend kind of like maybe back in the 50s, and then it's been kind of like going away ever since then. But when I went to high school in the 90s, we used to wear letter jackets occasionally. Mm-hmm. But is trap sanctioned by the Minnesota State High School League like other sports? Or
Yeah, it is considered a Minnesota State high school sport.
Okay.
But a lot of schools don't associate with it because it's kind of a gray area with gun shooting and that.
Yeah.
A lot of schools don't fund it, but they'll recognize it.
And is there funding for it in our school district? And
There is no funding with it. They recognize it, but there is no funding that I know of.
So how is it funded then, if it's not funded through the public money?
A lot of donations, and we do a lot of banquets. Like we had our Park Rapids Clay Dusters banquet this last at the end of winter here, and we work for Ducks Unlimited banquets, turkey banquets, all that kind of stuff we work for, and they give us generous donations for helping them, and that's a lot of it. And so for kids, I think it was about $150 to come shoot for the year. For the high school kids.
Oh, that's like the registration fee.
Yeah, that's a registration fee for us. And I think that's fairly cheap for 250 plus rounds.
Oh, so that includes all of the
Yep.
all the shooting. So that's got to be subsidized in some way too then by whatever funds that you're able to raise.
Yep.
And the Clay Dusters is the organization that is sort of the financial entity that assists with the trap shooting league. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you can start as early as 8th grade?
I think you could start as early as 6th grade. They'll let exceptions, but you're not allowed into the league till it's either 7th or 8th grade. Like you can come out and start shooting, but I don't think you're allowed into the league till 8th grade.
And how many people are on your team?
This year it is 30 people.
All right.
30, maybe 29 or 31, somewhere around 30.
Are there any distinctions between like boys league or girls league, or how does that work?
I don't really want to put too far into that, but the males league is harder to shoot because I don't want to sound sexist, but it's harder to shoot. So females which it's in my opinion, it's a fair way to shoot because more than likely males can shoot better than females.
Yeah. But as far as the team itself, are you all considered one team, or is there a boys team and a girls team?
We're all considered one team. Like the team scores, all the scores get put into that team. But in the conference wise, we have 3 girls in our team. They're considered in their own female conference for individuals.
Yep.
And we're considered in our own males.
So out of 30 team members, 3 of them are female.
3 of them are 3 or 4 are female.
Okay. All right. And how many shoots or meets do you participate? I mean, you said you got to do 250 rounds, and so are those all done at meets or shoots, or how is that? How are those scores taken?
So Park Rapids is actually one of the really lucky teams. We shoot 2 days a week. A lot of teams can only afford to shoot 1 day a week in just that league. So what we do is we have a practice day on Monday, and our league is Tuesday. And how that works is everybody shoots their 50 rounds for that week, and they get put into the computer. And then the conference that you're in, the surrounding teams that shoot in your same conference, they all put in the same scores. And the top 100 individuals in the state go on to state and Prior Lake, and then the teams just get a plaque of because they shot the best in that conference that year.
So it all basically takes place at your home club, all the shooting.
Yep, that 250 rounds, yep.
So there's not a ton of traveling that's involved in trap shooting then?
Yes and no. Like this Wednesday, we're going over to DL for our mid-state conference. And then after that, we go up to Bemidji the 18th for, that's just an invite, though. It's nothing to
So
do
this
with
is
the
just
state.
like an individual tournament that you could win or lose, and there'll be a team winner and an individual winner and all that stuff.
Yep. See, the mid-state, that's part of the state, but like the Bemidji invite, that's just the Bemidji team wants to host something, and everybody comes up and shoots. And same thing with ours, I think, is June 1st, and people come up there and shoot. It's just something to keep the kids shooting and have a fun tournament kind of thing. It's nothing serious, but it's serious. Like, you want to win.
You want to win because there's a trophy involved.
Yeah, there's a trophy involved.
And all the glory that goes with it, right?
Oh, there's a lot of glory that goes with it.
Bragging rights and so
about
forth.
it.
So the mid-state conference, do those rounds count towards your 250 or
They do not.
They do not. Okay, so that's just but it's a state sanctioned tournament. And then what did you say about Prior Lake?
Prior Lake is a state. That's the top 100 in the state. That's
Okay.
out of the Minnesota State High School League.
Yep.
Post that. So how that works is the top 100 in the state out of your 250 rounds that you shoot during the 5 weeks. The top 100 that gets the best average go down to Prior Lake individually. And then our Alexandria tournament, out of 12 days, all 12 days, there's, I think 1,000 kids plus a day that come out and shoot. And the best team that shoots on them days, there's 40 teams that go down. So out of the 12 days, the top 40 teams go down and shoot as a team, too, in Prior Lake.
Okay, so that's how you qualify for Prior Lake is through Alexandria.
Yep. For the teams wise, yes, that's how you qualify.
And 40 teams show up in Alexandria.
More than 40 teams.
Oh.
So I couldn't tell you. There's like 400 teams now, and all 400 teams shoot in that 12-day period, and the top 40 in that 12-day period, them are the ones that qualify.
And what's the region like the teams that go to Alexandria? Is that like just northern Minnesota or northwestern Minnesota, or what's the?
It's the size of the kids that shoot on that team. Like us, we're paired last year. Well, it goes in Class A or Class 1, Class 2, Class 3A kind of thing. So anywhere from Minnesota is where they shoot.
Yeah. And then for the individual competition down in Prior Lake, there's the top 100 shooters.
Yep, in the state.
Has anybody from Park Rapids ever been involved in that?
I've been in it 3 years. There actually quite a few kids have been involved with it.
Yep.
I was in it last year along with Aaron McDonald. The year before that, I missed out, I missed out. Mackenzie Gertz made it. And the year before that, it was me, Caden Walsh, Mackenzie Gertz. We have usually at least 1 or 2 kids in it each year.
Okay, so that if you go down there, then you can count yourself among the top 100 high school shooters in the state.
Yep, and that's out of 12,000 kids.
Right, so that's quite an accomplishment.
Very.
So then when you get down there, what goes on?
That's just a normal trap meet. So you shoot 100 rounds.
Okay.
For individuals, you shoot 100 rounds consecutively. There's a flight 1 and flight 2. So how it works is at the beginning of the day.
So 4 rounds consecutively.
Yep.
When you say 100 rounds, you mean 100 rounds of ammunition, so like 4 times or 4 rounds of trap. Yeah.
4 boxes.
Yeah, 4 boxes.
So how it actually works is the beginning of the day, the team shoots, and about all the team scores get added up and everything. So about noon, 1 o'clock, then the individuals go out and you shoot your 4 boxes, and then at the end of it, you see who wins.
Okay. Now let's say that. Let me ask you. So last year, let's say, did anybody shoot 100?
On ours, no, but there's a lot of kids who shoot 100.
All right. So if there's a tie, then do they just keep shooting until somebody misses, or how does that work?
In the state, I don't think they do. Nationally, they will, but in state, they won't. Like, So I shot 100 straight down in Alex for like that team shoot, that big shoot.
Yeah.
I shot 100 straight down in Alex, and there's 2 other kids that shot 100 straight. So we had to split first place. So I got first place, he got first place, and she got first place.
Oh, so you didn't just continue on shooting until there was a winner?
Nope, they don't have a shoot off for that.
And they don't do that in Prior Lake either?
Nope, I don't think so.
So there could be like 3 state champions or whatever the case may be.
Yep.
Okay.
But nationally, they go to a shoot off till they're done.
So is trap shooting also an Olympic sport?
It is an Olympic sport, yes, but it's different from the high school league as a Olympic sport. It is called a wobble trap. So the trap goes up, down, left, and right instead of just left and right at the same height.
Okay. Have you ever tried shooting a wobble trap?
I have shot wobble trap.
Yeah.
I think it's fun personally. I think I could be good at it.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever thought about trying out for the United States Olympic team or anything like that?
I have, because I think it's actually this year, the year I turn 18, that they're having things down in Colorado. I think it's Colorado Springs that they're actually the tryouts.
Well, that's where the headquarters of the U.S. Olympic team usually is, or I think it is in Colorado Springs. So
Yep.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm going to try it this year. I think I'm going to practice more on the wobble trap if I do end up going, and I'm going to go 4 years from now.
Yeah, because there's an Olympics this year, and then there would be another one 4 years from now. So, so you see yourself continuing on with trap even beyond high school?
Well, especially beyond high school, because there's this thing called ATA, which is another trap shooting league for any age.
Yeah.
You can shoot it, and I'm going to try shoot some of that as much as I can, because that's where the money is you could go out there.
So
and
it's a
shoot.
professional league.
Yep, it's a professional league.
And you're considering turning professional in trap shooting?
Yes and no. I mean, anybody can go out and shoot an ATA shoot.
Sure.
But you can start getting bigger and bigger and winning money, very good money shooting ATA.
Is that right? Mm-hmm. Okay. And those events take place all over the country, I would
All
imagine.
over the country, yeah.
Well, where on the scale of places, well, you know how like they say basketball is really big in Indiana and you know football is really big in Florida and all that, you know. What would you say, like where does Minnesota fall on that scale for trap shooting?
For high school league, we're number 1.
Is
I
that
think
right?
we have the highest. We have 12 to 13,000 kids sign up this year for trap shooting this spring.
And that's higher than any other state.
I'm pretty sure that is higher than any other state, yeah.
Does our state also produce Olympians as well?
I guess I haven't really seen Olympians try and shoot, but I guess I haven't paid that much attention because, like I said, high school league is a whole different ball game from the Olympic.
I mean, Minnesota High School League is sort of like the big leagues of trap shooting on the high school level, right? And so if you're a top 100 shooter in Minnesota, chances are you're probably, you know, pretty highly ranked shooter nationally as well.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so that's really cool that you're going to continue on with that. So we'll talk a little bit more about your future plans later, but while I still want to stay on the subject of trap for now. Let's say, I mean, there's so many things that go into it. Now, I mean, that's how you and I met. Is I go out there and try to shoot on Tuesdays and Saturdays sometimes too. But and I say the emphasis is on the word try. But I have fun with it. And one thing I notice about trap is that it seems it's like a lot like, say, golf, in that there are, even though it's deceptively simple, like it seems like, okay, so you stand up at the line and you shoot a target that's moving side to side or at an angle away from you, and what did you say, 16 yards is
16
is the
yards.
difference there. So what is there to it? You stand there, you shoot at a target, but that, I think that's just a gross oversimplification, because there's so much more that goes into it, from foot position to raising the gun and to keeping it in the proper place on your face, to the type of ammunition you're using, to the firearm itself. I mean, just the physical things, and your stance and your pre-shot routine and all that stuff. But so there's a whole lot of physical things. But then there's this other side of it, which is mental, right?
Very hard mental game.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on all of that?
So like the physical standard, a lot of kids can shoot physically, and they'll have a 22, 23 average, which is a pretty good average.
Yeah.
It's about average, maybe a little bit above.
Okay.
But mentally, a lot of kids struggle. I've struggled with it. Every great shooter has struggled with the mental game. I think trap shooting is probably one of the most hardest mental game sports in the United States, if not the world.
And why is that?
Because you can't think about it. If you think about it, you're going to miss. Because if you think about it too much, you're just going to miss. If you're doing competition-wise, if you're just out there to have fun, you could probably do nothing or because you don't care. But if you're out there competition-wise, it is the hardest mental game ever to shoot. Like, so...
Well, somebody said, if you made that statement to somebody, they said, what do you mean you don't have to think about it? You have to, the target's coming, you have to look at it, and you got to think about where you're going to aim your gun, and you got to shoot it, right? But so what would you say to them?
You can aim your gun and shoot it, but what happens if you think about it? Oh, I need to aim right here because the wind's going this way. But what happens if the wind stops that next round and next round you shoot, you have a chance of missing. It's always a mental game. And like, I'll say one of my biggest mental games was, it probably would have been my end of my sophomore year into my junior fall. I was rough. Like I wanted to be the best. So how I really got into trap shooting, or like wanted to be good. I know we talked about this early, but how I wanted to be good is, so a lot of these kids have patches, like 50, 25, 100, 75s on their vest. And I watched some kid at a shoot have that kind of vest, and I want to be that guy.
Yep.
I want to have that kind of vest and be that guy who shoots that good.
Right.
So it's all about like, so Steve Gertz taught me a lot of this, a lot of trap shooting, all of that. I have probably a lot of my physical stuff to thank on him. Mentally, it's all on yourself.
Yeah.
Nobody can teach you mental game besides yourself.
Right.
They can point pointers where they helped you or it's helped him, but yourself, you have to do it yourself.
So there's a lot of thinking, and then there's a lot of having to empty your mind of thoughts too, being like, but part of that I think is becoming good at it. You have to shoot a lot of rounds, but that's just because you want to have a lot of consistency in terms of your stance and all your gun draw and all that stuff on the physical side. But so once you got that down, then it's only a mental game, right?
Once you got your physical down, it's mental game after that, and boy, you're gonna have a ride.
Yeah. So so just getting into your routine then, like sort of, because I'm sure that like life happens, right? I mean, to all of us, right? Whether you're in high school or you're 97 years old, there are things that are going to happen in this life that are going to take you off your game. Could be death in a family, could be breakup, or you get a bad grade, or just something happens and it bothers you, and yet, okay, now it's a Tuesday afternoon, I got to go out and shoot my round. So how do you kind of mentally prepare yourself in situations where maybe things aren't going great, just temporarily in your life?
So what I do, this is me personally, not a lot of people are religious, but I always pray before I shoot. Before any of big shoots, I will pray.
Okay. And you think that's really helpful?
It's helpful for me. He's got my back, so it's kind of every single shoot I've always prayed before my shoots.
Yeah, and it's just as simple as that. That's wonderful. Okay, that's great. So then when you get ready to shoot, have you laid all those things aside and just, so what's going through your mind as you walk up to the first station?
It's another round. It's another, like how we were talking about how we met on Tuesdays and Saturdays. It's another practice round on Tuesday or Saturday. That's all you got to think. You just walk up there and just another day. Clear your head. You're just out. See, you want to be out there to have fun, but you want to be out there to competition shoot. Because if you're out there to win and shoot and be competition and like be the best of the best, you're gonna miss.
Right.
But if you're out there to have fun but win, that's a whole different.
That's why it's so hard, because it's like, okay, if I want to think, okay, I'm gonna have a great round right now, I'm gonna nail all these targets, I'm gonna be super locked in, right? Then you're almost too rigid, and you're just thinking about too many things at the same time, and then maybe something goes wrong, you forgot to do something, your feet are in the wrong spot, and then all of a sudden it's like you get frustrated, and that can set in, right?
Say there's a lot of stuff that gets put into it, like having your phone in your pocket. You should never shoot with your phone in your pocket. I've missed a 50 straight because I had my phone in my pocket before in my sophomore year. I got a phone call from a cousin when I was in the middle of the shoot, pulled my gun up to shoot, said pull, I called my phone and I missed that bird. And I shot a 49. And after
So
that,
always lay your phone aside. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's happened to me too, where I've been shooting and, of course it doesn't matter what I shoot, but where the phone has gone off and yeah, I always make sure it's on, at least on silent now, so it doesn't really go, bother me, but yeah. So, when let's just say that you're shooting around and I know you're mainly hitting 25s, I'd say, right?
I'm pretty solid 24, 25 shooter.
Okay. So let's talk about that 24 round, right? When you know that you've missed one. Okay. How do you recover from that? Like, let's say it's like the 12th shot or something like that, and you miss it. How do you recover from that and avoid it completely wrecking your score?
So it's hard mental game. Like a lot of kids, that's the biggest thing kids struggle with. They like the first of this year, our team was phenomenal. Like everybody was hitting 24, 25, 24, 25. But a lot of kids, once they miss 2 birds, they just drop after that. Because how I recover it from personally is, what are you going to do? You can't get that bird back. You can't call it back. It's gone. You can't. So why let it wreck the rest of your round? But a lot of kids are like, dang it, I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't do that. And then it struggles with them more. And then they think, I can't miss this next bird. And then they miss the next bird.
There's too much. The pressure after missing one is too great. It's almost like you have less pressure if you haven't missed, right?
Oh, you pretty much. Because if you miss one, then you're like, because like in my type of shooting, for how high I am, if you miss one bird, you lost.
Yeah. If you miss one.
Yeah, if you miss one, you lost. That's how it's always been for the past 2 years.
Yeah. So when you're approaching these rounds too, are you thinking more in terms of, okay, I'm going to shoot a round, or I'm just going to shoot 25 individual targets and kind of do that, or like?
Well, how I look at it is I take one bird at a time.
One at a time.
You don't look at the full round. Because if you think of the full round, okay, if I hit this, I got to hit all of these 5 next birds, and you're going to miss one of them.
Yeah.
But if you say, this is how I'm going to shoot this next bird, but you can't anticipate the birds either.
Yeah.
But just, I'm one bird at a time. That's all it is.
So what you're kind of describing is a lot of sort of like mental, like self-talk, like you're saying these things to yourself.
Oh, I'll talk to myself at the line.
Will you really?
Yeah,
like you'll like actually talk.
Yeah, I'll probably. I don't know if I'm actually speaking out because I got my earplugs in, but it's just one more. One more, and it's always one more.
Yeah, and that's it.
And people probably think I'm crazy. Like I've watched people watch me shoot all the time.
Yeah.
Like at our home range.
Yeah.
People said they didn't know what I was doing. Like I was in my own range because I shot 100 straight at our tournament last year.
Yeah.
And people just said I was in my own zone. I couldn't miss. That's what they told me. But I only took it one bird at a time because I dusted pretty much all of them. And these are separate coaches, Sabika coaches, Monaga coaches, Peacock coaches. They talked to me all and said, you couldn't miss that day.
Yeah.
But that's because I was in my zone.
So being in the zone, are you sort of oblivious to everything else that's going on around you? Like, how much attention do you pay to the other people who are on the line shooting with you?
I rarely pay attention to anyone. All I'm ever looking is I'm looking straight and I'm looking at the target. The only time I pay attention to the guy beside me is to see if he shot.
Okay.
And usually I don't even do that. I can hear when he says pull, that's usually when I know it's my turn.
So you don't care at all what anybody else is doing. It's just they're all just kind of background noise, and it's all about just you and those targets every time.
It's only you. You and that target is all that you need to be worrying about.
Yeah. Okay. So does the pressure sort of continue to amplify as the season goes on?
100%.
Yeah. But then you have to maintain that same level of focus and awareness.
Yep, you guys stay that mental game because so I shot horribly at Bemidji last year, probably one of my worst rounds. But then I pulled out with 100 straight at our tournament, and after that, I was always expected to shoot good. It's hard to shoot good too because a lot of people know me and to shoot good. Yeah. And if you shoot bad, it's always what happened to him, what happened to this, what happened to that. So the pressure gets harder, but like I said, it's all on mental game. One bird at a time.
Yeah. So let's just talk briefly about your equipment too. So what kind of shotgun are you using now?
I'm using one of the most common shotguns, so a BT-99. And you got all these fancy shooters shooting $10,000, $12,000 guns, even $5,000 and higher, and all these kids think they need it. I shoot a $1,200 gun.
Yeah.
And I mean that's about the lower end of a trap gun, and look how well I shoot. 'Cause I see a lot of people shooting $5 to $10,000 guns, and I can beat them with my 1200.
Yep. And so it's a BT-99.
Yep.
What's the manufacturer of that?
Remington.
Oh, Remington.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a single shot?
Yep, single shot break action.
Do a lot of people use single shots, or do a lot of them use the over under type?
It's a mix. A lot of people use single shot. A lot of people
Yeah.
use over under.
Okay. Where'd you buy your gun?
I bought my gun from
Steve Gertz.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, because I was like saying there's not a whole lot of places around that seem to actually sell
really.
those types of.
You have to order them, or yeah, you pretty much got to order them, or
Yeah.
every now and then, like Smoky Hills will have one open.
Okay. And everybody wears a vest and all that, and you've got a lot of patches on your vest
Yeah,
now, right?
not everybody wears
Yeah.
vests. Our team does, because
Yeah.
that's just our team. But yeah, I love my vest because I know that I am that guy now.
Yeah.
And it's a great feeling.
Well, you're the guy that the little kids are looking up
yeah.
to.
And I remember being that little kid looking up to that guy saying, I want to shoot like him one day.
Yep.
And I love seeing that too, because I've had, like yesterday, and there's a lot that goes behind shooting as good as I do. Mm-hmm. People don't see it, because like I think it was the year I met you, maybe last 2 summers ago probably.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I shot 6,000 rounds that summer.
Yeah.
And nobody knows how much I shot unless I tell them. And then like little things.
Yeah.
Like last night, me and Avery Capan, because our mid-state tournament's Wednesday,
Yeah.
we went over to Dion in the rain.
Yeah.
And shot 75 rounds in the rain.
Wow. 75 rounds. How long?
3 boxes. But
Yeah, that's amazing.
in
yeah.
the rain.
Yeah.
2 of them were in the rain. One was when it stopped raining.
Yeah. So it takes a lot of dedication.
People think, oh, he's just naturally good, but we
Yeah.
spend our time and go out there and do it. Like Alexandria last year when I shot my 100 straight out there, I was there the night before and shot 100 rounds that night. Mm-hmm. But nobody knows this. It's all the dedication that people don't see behind the scenes is why people can be this good.
And that's a really good point, that natural talent will only take you so far. It's that when you add hard work to natural talent, now you're cooking with gas, right? Yeah.
So now you're going somewhere, boy.
Yeah. I also noticed that you wear glasses that have these like sort of side blinders or something
Yeah,
like that.
so I
So
have
what's the deal with those?
Blinders, so if you put your hands up like this, all you can see is straight in front of you.
Yeah.
So like how I shoot, it bothers a lot of people if they don't have side blinders, because I'm moving while they're shooting.
Yeah.
And if you have them side blinders and you're looking out straight, all you're focused on is on straight. You don't have any peripheral vision off to the side to see anything.
So that's more. Oh, that's interesting. So that's not as much for shooting as it is for just keeping the distractions away.
That's all the side blinders is keeping the distractions away. But we have lenses that are special colored.
Yeah.
Like mine are reddish pinkish, but that's also because I'm colorblind.
Oh, okay.
So
that's
it helps
interesting.
on greener backgrounds.
I was gonna say, because I heard that there's people will use different shaded glasses on different weather days.
Mm-hmm. See, like I have a brighter pink, dimmer pink, kind of all the above.
Mm-hmm. And so, something if it's a cloudy day, they say yellow or something like
brighter things to make the birds pop. It's all really on your preference. Because I've seen people who aren't colorblind shoot with the same lenses I have, and they say it makes the birds pop. So it's kind of it's a pick or choose what you really like.
that. Yeah. Okay. We shooting all these rounds. Ammunition costs money, and so do the rounds themselves. So do you work as well?
Oh, I work like my year that I shot 6,000 rounds, I made a lot of money for a 16-year-old, and I had no penny to show for it 'cause I spent all my money into trap.
Yeah.
That's another thing people don't see behind the scenes is
Yeah.
you spend all that money to go shoot, from driving the gas all the way to Huntersville and back, and just that was like $100 a case, or $100 for 10 boxes at that time to go shoot. It's
Yeah, I mean,
cost a
you
lot of
add it
money.
up. I mean, that's if you shot that many rounds, it's what, $6,000 just on ammunition or
Pretty
something
much.
like that. Yeah. So what do you do then for work?
At that time I was working for Thielen's Precast, but now I'm working for Eischens Wood Products.
Okay.
Crap, it's here.
Yep. Is that a cabinetry shop?
Yeah, cabinetry shop.
All right.
Cabinetry, woods, anything really. Trim.
Do you enjoy doing that kind of work?
I like doing it, yeah.
Okay, good. So how has your study of trap and your practice of trap helped you at all when you're just going about your day-to-day life? In other words, like, so what kind of life lessons and stuff have you learned from being a trap shooter?
See, like life lessons, like how you're saying, is like, so a lot of people might get irritated at me for like random things, like how can you just get over it like that?
Yeah.
But like I think that's one big thing that I've learned for life lesson is like when you miss a clay, you can't get it back. So why worry about it? You can't do anything. So when something bad happens to you, I get over it right away, because
it's water under the bridge.
If
right?
you can't fix it, then why care about it? Unless if it's like super important. But it's like, why? Because that's probably one of my biggest life lessons I learned from trap is you can't get it. If you can't get it back, don't worry about it. Otherwise, you'll just have more stress on yourself.
What about lessons about, like, say, concentration, mental awareness, or just kind of going about your day-to-day life?
See, day-to-day life is just you got to be focused if you want to achieve. That's how I learned that in trap, and you learn that in life. If you're focused on something and you focus on that one thing, you will go somewhere with it.
Focus and have fun. Right?
Yeah, and have fun.
You can't be overly focused.
Yeah, gotta have fun.
So what are your career plans then? I mean, aside from being an ATA shooter or Olympic shooter potentially, what are like, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
I see myself probably in the Park Rapids area working, probably still at Eischens Wood Products, and just enjoying life. I plan on being a coach for trap shooting, and I guess shoot ATA and have fun, just live life, live the American dream.
Yeah. So you like it around here?
I like it. I got a lot of family around here, so I like it. And
yeah. So you never had any thoughts of moving away or anything like that?
Not really, no. I got too much family around here. My girlfriend's parents own a cattle business that they help with, and I just like it around here.
Got any, not to put you on the spot, do we have any wedding plans coming up?
Not anytime soon. Trust me, she asked me a lot.
I was going to say, I don't want to get you in trouble or anything like that, but yeah, she'll probably like, gee, Alex, that's a good question.
I like this guy. You should ask more of that.
Well, she seems like a nice young lady, so maybe you ought to lock it down. Right? No, I've never met her, actually. Actually, wait a minute. I think I did.
I think you did one time.
It was maybe even like last week or something like that. You had her out there, but yeah. Well, obviously, that's a decision that you got to make, and just bring all your life experience into the timing of that, right? Because this is one that you can't miss. You got to hit this target correctly. Your time at the high school. What have been some of your? I mean, aside from trap, what have been some of your highlights from just being in high school and all of that?
Probably some of my favorite, like, you mean like memories?
Yeah.
So like some of my favorite memories in high school is being in Jeff Dravis's class, and a bunch of us buddies would go make dump runs like every day. We'd have like one piece of wood that he says go bring to the dump, and we'll go bring it to the dump, and just little stuff like that, just goofing around and having fun.
So Dravis is one of your favorite teachers?
Probably,
yeah. And he's a shop teacher. Okay. Anything else that you can think of? Like, I mean, I'm sure you got a lot of friends and made a lot of memories that way too.
Yep. I mean, they all piled together. There's a lot of fun memories at high school, and I'm probably going to miss it. I'll be honest with you. But
well, if you're going to stay around here, it's just an extended high school.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But it's just my little things that happen. You don't remember the big things, but I'll remember a lot of them little things that happened at high school.
So you mentioned your teachers. You mentioned Steve Gertz. I'm sure your parents are too. But who are some of the other big influences
on shooting?
Just on shooting or in life in general.
Probably another one is Dan Strickler.
Dan. Yeah.
Go to old Vietnam vet. He'll give you crap till you fall down.
He will. Yeah.
But he's probably another big one. Probably a couple of my uncles too are real good at that, and they point me through life and help me through. My cousin Matt, he's helped me. I've done a lot of stuff with him. He's pointed me through life. Just little people like that around the community that help. Just little things.
Do you have any brothers or sisters?
I have 2 brothers, 1 sister.
Are they older or younger?
All older.
All older. Okay.
Yep.
Did any of them shoot trap?
Nope.
Okay, so you're the only one.
I'm the only one.
You're the last hope for the family.
Yeah. Better not let them see this video.
Yeah. Well, I guess before we go, do you have any advice to that kid who's looking up to you as, being the guy with all the patches on his jacket now or his vest now, in terms of, what does that kid have to do to become the next Alex Eischens?
What he has to do is just focus and trigger time. And it's a lot of money. And like I said, I worked probably 40 to 50-hour weeks, and a lot of my money went to trap shooting. A lot of it. And my parents put in a lot of money with me too, just to get to where I am at today. It's just money and trigger time and focus. And if you want to play around and go to the trap range, go right ahead, but you'll never be great.
Yeah.
See, like one of my biggest persons before me was Cole Gertz. Fourth time he got fourth out in nationals. After that, that's what I'm aiming for, is top 5 in nationals this year. If not, I want to be top 3 that's what I'm aiming for. So a lot of trigger time, but you just gotta focus. Focus, play your game right.
Take care of your money and work hard and okay.
See, just have to focus and be nice to people. A lot of people tell me that I'm probably one of the nicest trap shooters that I'm not. A lot of people say I'm not cocky about it, I should say. Like, I'll go out there if a kid's struggling with shooting. Like right now, I'll go out and help kids shoot. Like the new kids at our range, I'll come out there and shoot. Just be kind, because it gives you a good name too. People are glad to see you, and if you give out positive energy, you get positive energy back, and that's in life in general too. Just if you're happy like that, and you always have a better time shooting too.
Yeah. Well, Alex Eischens, I hope that you will come back and talk to us again after you become, a nationally prominent shooter on the Olympic team or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I will see you around town and at the range.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming in, Alex.
Thanks for having me.
All right.